Bobby Hebert, Saints handing Jamaal Williams a free garbage touchdown, disrespected the game. So we have covered the situation a lot, but I want to hear what Hebert has to say. So let's go ahead and listen to the Cajun Cannon on what he thought about Jameis Winston going rogue and out of the victory formation, getting Jamaal Williams his only touchdown of the season against the Atlanta Falcons.
Jamaal Williams, listen, he didn't deserve that damn touchdown at the end. Oh, we want to give him a touchdown. Give him a touchdown for what? He averaged 1.9 yards a carry, had 14 carries, 26 yards. So we're going to give him a touchdown?
I don't think it had anything to do with his performance in that game. This was Jamaal Williams, a teammate, obviously a friend of these guys who they respect, care about, led the league in touchdowns the year before, had 0 coming into this game. So the teammate said, you know what? Let's get him his touchdown. That was it, plain and simple. Had nothing to do with deserved or earned or whatever. This was just the guys who go out there every single week, who are at the OTAs, who are at the training camps, who are traveling to the games, who are playing the games, who are doing what they got to do, in the last moment, making a split decision to do something for their teammate. That's it. That's the whole thing. Could it have been done better? Out of the victory formation, was that the best way to do it? Probably not. But they had that chance and that moment, and they took it. And I don't think it's much bigger than that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it's that big of a deal. That's my whole thing on this. Do I think that Jamaal Williams scoring that touchdown out of the victory formation in that spot when the game is over, do I think that is breaking the fundamentals of the NFL? No. Do I think Tyrann Mathieu scoring the pick six would have been a big deal? No. Do I think him kneeling, sliding down would have been a big deal? No. It's just a game. It's just a football game. It's not that big of a deal. I had somebody in the comments on a video saying that this act is disgracing the city of New Orleans and how the city of New Orleans is viewed across the world. Trust me. Okay? Trust me. There is plenty that can disgrace the city of New Orleans from how the world thinks about them. Like, I don't know, sky-high crime rates. I don't know, failing infrastructure. Things like that probably has a worse look from a global scale than Jamaal Williams getting a touchdown.
I mean, he can go to Comic-Con, Pokemon, and all that stuff. I mean, Jamaal Williams did not deserve a touchdown. I agree with Dennis Allen. Maybe I'm an old curmudgeon, or old fart, and maybe these young people, but you don't go get your head coach. I can tell you that right now. That never would happen in the past. No, you're kneeling down and you're going to do the right thing.
Now, this is an interesting wrinkle. You don't go against your head coach. I agree. If you respect your head coach. If your head coach has authority over the locker room. If you care about him. If how he appears as your head coach, if that matters to you at all. You don't defy him in this spot. You don't do this. But if you don't care about that guy, if you think that guy is a clown, if you think that guy should wear big red shoes and a big red nose and juggle some balls on a unicycle, if you think that of him and have no respect for him and he carries no authority in that locker room, you probably do something like this. So Hebert's onto something there. This would not happen on a Sean McVay coach team. This wouldn't happen on a Kyle Shanahan, Bill Belichick coach team. Wouldn't happen. Wouldn't have happened on a Mike Ditka coach team, right? These things wouldn't happen because they respect the coach. This is obvious, ladies and gentlemen, over the last 24 hours, the Saints players don't respect Dennis Allen, or they didn't respect Dennis Allen, and they certainly don't respect him now. That he has drawn the line in the sand and said the players went rogue. I didn't ask them to do that. I apologize to Atlanta. I apologize to Arthur Smith. Good luck on updating your LinkedIn and resume profile. By the way, Arthur, newly unemployed. But, I think the writing's on the wall for Dennis and these players. Now, the Saints have an option as far as Mickey Loomis. He's got to side with the players or the coach. Because I don't see how this relationship can be repaired. They've each gone their separate ways, and now more players, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Cam Jordan, Kalen Saunders, all these people are coming out and saying, We support Jameis Winston. We support the decision. We let's roll. So, does Mickey Loomis start to weed some of those players out? Does he get rid of Jameis Winston? Does he, move off of some of those people or try and trade them or whatever to keep Dennis Allen, to keep his authority figure intact? Or does he say, Dennis, sorry, my man, but you lost the locker room. The players are who they are. It's them or you. You're 30 games under 500. You got to go.
Because you got to be respectful to the game. That's where, as a coach or as a player, and Dennis Allen said the right thing. Because when you look off to Smith, he goes, "This is a bunch of BS." You damn right it is. You do not do that. That's disrespectful to the game. Now, maybe some young people, I don't know, millennials, Gen Z, whatever how you want to describe people, you do not give that touchdown to Jamaal Williams.
I got a question for y'all. This is just a thought. Let's say the game was 37-3. All right, 37-3. And let's say the game obviously out of hand. And let's say instead of Jamaal Williams, let's say they don't line up in the victory formation. Let's say they line up in a regular I formation, and they say, you know what, let's get Cam Jordan a touchdown. Let's get Cam Jordan in the end zone. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be cool if Cam got a touchdown here? So let's pretend it's 37-3. Game's out of hand. Game is well out of reach. Dominating the opposition. And we line up and hand the ball off to Cam Jordan to get him a touchdown. Would that be disrespecting the game? Would he deserve the touchdown? No, right? He wouldn't. He wouldn't deserve it. He didn't do anything in the game to earn a touchdown. He didn't do anything rushing-wise the entire season to earn the touchdown, right? It certainly is running up the score. Because if you score, it's 37-3. You're talking about it's going to be quick math, 44-3, and you're going to run your defensive lineman into the end zone? And you might be saying, James, what are you talking about? That's exactly what the Chicago Bears did with Refrigerator Perry. The Super Bowl against the Patriots, it was 37-3. The game was out of reach. They were on the 1 yard line, and they ran a defensive lineman into the end zone. Do you think that was disrespectful to the Patriots? And you might say, well, James, it's different, right? They got to score. They can't kneel the ball out. Why didn't they give it to their halfback? Why didn't they give it to Walter Payton? Why did they rub it in their face with a defensive lineman in that spot? So what I ask you is this, ladies and gentlemen. What do you have the problem with? Do you have if you have a problem with this, do you have a problem with the fact that the Saints scored? Because then you have to ask yourself, if Tyrann Mathieu finishes the pick six, would that have been disrespectful? Do you have a problem that Jamaal Williams scored because he didn't, quote unquote, earn the touchdown? Because he didn't have a great game, so he didn't deserve to score? Or are you mad that the victory formation was the formation it was in? Are you mad that it was lined up in that formation and it wasn't a normal running play? That it wasn't a normal play that was earned? And to that, I will say, if the players were going to do this, they had to do it in the victory formation. Because if they come out there, first of all, the personnel of the victory formation, I doubt could have lined up for a normal play. You would have had some random left tackle playing slot receiver. 8 people would have had to declare as eligible. So I don't think that was even possible. And if they line up in a regular play, DA would have blown a timeout. So that wasn't even an option for the players. So if the players were deciding to do this, they had to do it from the victory formation. So is that your issue with this? Or are you upset that they defied Dennis Allen? That the players went rogue, allegedly went rogue, or I guess not allegedly, confirmed went rogue, and did this on their own, defying the coach? Which one of those are you upset about? Because I can understand the whole kind of a sucker punch, kind of a scumbag move to do it out of the victory formation. I can understand that. But like I said, you also have to understand that from the player's point of view, if they're going to do this, they had no option. I agree with you. Scummy move to do it from the victory formation. But that's as far as I can get it. As far as I can get this thing is, Yeah, kind of a scummy move, but whatever. Who cares? We're on to next season. Glad we beat the Falcons. I wish it was 100 to nothing. Don't care. Like, losing zero sleep over it doesn't break the fundamentals of the game. Isn't a stain on the city of New Orleans. Doesn't disgrace us on a global setting. Not that big of a deal. Kind of like when Kenny Pickett did the fake slide thing and then ended up going for a touchdown. I thought the same thing. I was like, kind of a scumbag move to act like you're sliding but then score. Like kind of Bush League, but that was it. After that moment, it's like, okay, whatever. Same thing here. I'm not saying that it was great. I'm not saying that it's good sportsmanship. I agree with you, it's not. What I'm saying is it's not that big of a deal. That's it. It's the same as like T.O. dancing on the star when he scored for the 49ers. Or Randy Moss, mooning the crowd. Were those great, classy things to do? No. But they happened. It is what it is. It didn't define those players. It didn't define their careers. This doesn't define Jameis Winston or define the Saints or define Jamaal Williams. The only thing it might define Jameis Winston in is being a good teammate. Because every single player has come out and defended Jameis Winston. And I'll tell you this, as a fan, in these situations, back the players. Back the guys. Back the players. They wanted to do this. As far as I'm concerned, they put on a show for 17 weeks or 18 weeks, including the bye. We get to watch them. Their hard work, their blood, sweat, and tears, whatever they put in throughout the season. If they want to do this for their guy, whatever. Who am I to sit on my high horse and say, you shouldn't have done this? Respect the game. None of those things I just said broke the game. The fridge scoring to make it 44-3 and rubbing all the salt in the Patriots' wound doesn't define him. It doesn't define Mike Ditka as a head coach. It's not a classless act. It didn't make the Bears-Patriots rivalry out of control. No one even cares or remembers about anything to do with that. That team is celebrated. The fridge is celebrated. That play is celebrated. So I just think this whole condemnation of the Saints for this call is just it's so dramatic.
Jamaal Williams deserved that touchdown. He led the NFL last year in touchdowns. So you're going to throw him a garbage touchdown? How about you score before that? And he only averaged like 2 yards a carry. Come on, that's bogus. That's Bush League.
I think Houdats don't care, though, because it was against the Falcons.
They don't care regardless. It doesn't matter who it was against. If they want Jamaal to have a touchdown, score. No one is sitting here saying, man, what a great touchdown run. It doesn't matter how he earned it. That's not the point. The point isn't that they got him the touchdown. The point is that the teams wanted to do this. They just wanted to show a sign of solidarity for Jamaal Williams. He's not walking around celebrating that he got a touchdown. You think Jamaal Williams doesn't know that he doesn't have a touchdown this season? You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. He may have been on himself all season for not having a touchdown. And his team said, you know what? Let's write this if we have an opportunity. Even though it's it's not a 99-yard touchdown. Again, did the fridge deserve it? Did the fridge deserve to score that touchdown? No. He didn't earn it. He wasn't even an offensive player. But they wanted to tip of the cap to him. Mike Ditka chose to have the fridge score that touchdown instead of giving it to Walter Payton. Walter Payton did not score a touchdown in that Super Bowl. To this day, Mike Ditka calls that one of his biggest regrets. That Walter Payton didn't get it. But you never hear anybody say, it was kind of classless that you gave it to the fridge. Do you regret giving it to the fridge because you broke the fundamentals of the game? Because you ran it up 44-3? You couldn't have just given it to your halfback. You couldn't have just did a quarterback sneak. You had to do a defensive tackle. I believe Fridge was a rookie at that point. Somebody double check me on that. You had to give it to a rookie defensive tackle? The Chicago Shuffle or whatever, the Super Bowl Shuffle wasn't enough? Y'all did a full music video? That wasn't enough? You had to run it up with a defensive lineman? You might as well let the assistant coach run it down.
Well, it doesn't matter who you play. You got to respect the game. You got to respect the game, and that's why, I don't know. I guarantee you, back in the day, if the coach told you kneel down, you kneel down. You don't go against the head coach. Now, you might say, well, is Dennis Allen, can he control You always say, can you control the asylum or whatever, or what's happening? No, that's not right.
Now, again, you're telling me that you think this is the only time a team has defied a coach in history? You think it's because they're Gen Z and millennials and like Pokemon, like Bobby Hebert just said? No. I'm sure there were plenty of people in the 80s, 70s defying coaches, going out and partying whenever they should have been in the hotels, doing whatever during the game. I mean, acting like this is new. It's not new. There's a consistent theme. They don't respect the coach. And the players who did that back then, they didn't respect that coach. Loomis has to decide. He's got to decide between the players and the fans or Dennis Allen. And if it was me, if I was Mickey Loomis, I would take this opportunity to solidify myself as a hero in the city. And I would fire Dennis Allen. And I would say, I'm defending the players. I'm glad we beat Atlanta. I have the players back. I've got the fans back. I've got the cities back. We're going to find somebody to get this thing right. Who dat? And Mickey Loomis he might be the governor of Louisiana if he did that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this? Are you with Hebert? Are you with me? Are you with Jameis? Are you with Jamaal? Are you with the fridge? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.